Do you
Those
struggle with setting goals? Do you struggle with achieving those goals? Are you curious about what methods work for some and what methods work for others for setting those great goals and achieving them and celebrating them? Today's podcast is on how to set goals and how to celebrate them.
in healthy ways.
Hi, my name is Noah Thrives. I'm a life enrichment and relationship coach who has dealt with addiction and addicts in my family and close friend circles.
I'm Brian. Battled addiction for my whole life. I'm here to share my experiences and my hope with people, and hopefully my message gets out there.
And this is
Addicts
Addicts
Unanimous.
Unanimous. Let's get to it. All right, so setting goals, right? Setting goals and celebrating goals. Let's talk about how we set goals in the first place. Why do we set goals? Why do we set goals, Brian?
We set goals to get to a desired destination in our life.
Better
Uh,
outcome, make a shift in our environment, in ourself, in our growth, in our education, in our workplace, in our relationships,
in our reality.
our reality, shifting our reality.
So,
Yes. Goals come in many different forms. And yeah. So what are some methods to setting these goals?
well, we have some traditional goal setting markers or methods. One's called a SMART goal. You want to be specific with that. You want it to be measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. An example of that is if you want to lose 10 pounds in 3 months by exercising 4 times a week. So that right there is it's measurable. You can reach that. It's very specific and it's achievable. And there's a timeline there and it's relevant.
That's great. Some methods I find helpful are journaling, is writing down your goals and reflecting on the progress every day, a weekly check-in, stay to keep and stay aligned with your goals, and accountability partners, either with a friend, life coach, or mentor that you can share your goals with and they can help keep you on track. Sometimes they share similar goals with you so you can kind of help each other out. Yeah, rock and roll on that.
And definitely when I'm around somebody who has that kind of energy, it spreads, you know. So yeah, it's good to be around people that have goals because there's strength in numbers, and when you get a lot of people wanting to go to the same destination, it's easier. It's more achievable, I guess.
For sure. For sure. Having your support team on board, right?
Always, always.
Yes.
Another one that I do is vision boards. I got one on my wall right now. You can't see it, but just my just things that I want to achieve. Ways to get there and like positive affirmations and stuff like that. And that works because it's sitting in front of my face every day. So it's a constant reminder.
Yeah, vision boards are great. Having it
Mhm.
right there, the constant reminder. Yep, I agree. Pass by it every day. You start your day seeing it, you end your day seeing it.
Definitely put stuff on paper, and that's a big thing with goals. Like I guess if you write it out, then it almost comes to life.
Yeah, you externalize it. If you write it out, then it's got to be true. It's got to happen.
hmm there's power in words and
Facts. Facts,
affirming.
facts. So let's talk about some of the goals that we have. So for me, I do like setting short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals. That way, as time goes by, I'm achieving those short-term goals and working towards those medium-term goals, and then also progressing towards my long-term goals, right? And then a lot of times those short-term goals are chipping away at those long-term goals also.
Yeah,
So, for example, I'm in school right now. My long-term goal is to get this botany and mycology degree with Oregon State University. Some of my smaller term goals are learning aquaponics and algae cultivation And so they're not necessarily part of that degree, but they're along with it, and they might they might actually count as electives. Either way, I'll be able to use these classes as a life skill in my career. So I'm taking these shorter classes while I can get this hands-on experience here, and the botany in my college degree is online. So I'll be chipping away at that as well. So maybe two classes here that are hands-on in the aquaponics or algae cultivation or greenhouse design and building. And that's all hands-on in person. And then one or two classes of my e-campus stuff for the botany and mycology degree, which is the longer term goal. But
Yeah. I mean, how'd you go about setting the goals? Was it
taking the
go ahead?
time to think about and meditate on it, like my purpose and what I want for the future moving forward. It's kind of taken some time to find the right school and classes and stuff like that. So a little bit of research, which I found quite enjoyable to kind of just go down the rabbit hole and see what's going to suit me, what I got going on. We plan on moving to Costa Rica here in a few years, so it had to kind of accommodate that. So yeah, research and
Research.
soul searching also.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Definitely soul searching because that's what you're ultimately looking for is something to make your soul happy, right? You know, that's at least that's my destination, is to appease my soul, So
Of course.
yeah,
Looking at the bigger picture, our time on this little planet is very limited, and finding what's going to make you happy and however amount of time that you have on here, right? Nothing's ever guaranteed. So doing what you can to doing what I can to be as happy as possible and thrive while I'm here.
right. And hopefully spread that happiness, right?
Most definitely.
All right.
Yeah. What about you? What do you got?
See, goals for me right now, working on my credit. I actually did a couple disputes this weekend through the CFPB, like disputed a bunch of stuff. So hopefully that works out. A lot of my goals right now are to do with finances, digging myself out of some holes and uh, having success with, my financial freedoms. And so that's kind of a lot of work and research also. Other than that, I'm trying to find a new career path and get out of this kind of work that I'm doing, caregiving. It's a little getting rough on my body. The people you work with aren't, so trying to get higher, elevate myself career wise, I guess you could say. And then just health, just try to work, on my health and being more healthy and being more health conscious and getting checkups that I need to do, be preemptive with my checkups and stuff and start really being conscious of my health, because I'm getting older. So definitely something that I'm have goals is to be healthy. That's one of my goals in life is to be healthy because I have kids. So I definitely, want to be there when they're older and help them, be able to help them and be active with them and be right there with them. I don't want to be in a wheelchair or, on a walker, I want to be running with them and going on vacation and doing, enjoying life with them.
No doubt. What are some of you said you want to make this career shift, right? So what are some of your short-term goals that are working towards that?
Well, this weekend I went on Indeed. I applied, redid my resume. Right now, it's just kind of thinking about it, getting myself into the mode where I'm ready to move. So that's kind of where I'm at. This weekend was kind of the first real steps I took. I applied for a few places, so we'll see what happens with it. But it's not a need right now to leave. I'm just sometimes the feeling comes, like you stayed too long or you're out, your welcomes or you don't feel appreciated. That's where I'm at right now with my job is I really don't feel appreciated, so and I can make more money elsewhere. So but yeah, the steps I took this weekend was, I applied for a few jobs on Indeed and that's it for now.
That's great. That's a good
Yeah.
move.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm gonna work on the business thing we were talking about, getting it out there and, maybe moving into my own personal caregiving.
It sounds like it'll be more rewarding than what you got going on. And plus, I mean, you're not coming from a space of need and you're coming from a space where you get to call not necessarily the shots, but you get to build a respectable environment around what you do, you know?
Yeah. You have like a say over who you work with or the environment, you're kind of creating the environment because it's just you going in there. At
Yeah.
a yeah, at a facility, there's a bunch of people running around and it's mayhem sometimes. So I definitely think it will be a good move to get into something a little bit more, what's the word? Closer, I want to, there's 60 people here, so it's hard to get close to 60 people and give them all what they need. If I have a few residents or a few patients that I'm looking after or taking care of, then I think that will be more rewarding because then I get to actually be a part of their life and not just somebody who's running by them and
More
so
personalized, more.
I was gonna say intimate, but that sounded
No,
kind of
that's
weird.
great. Actually, that's the word I was gonna say too. It's okay to have an intimate business relationship. It's, in a caregiving situation. I mean, in anything, like intimate doesn't necessarily mean
Right,
sexual.
right.
So, yeah. No, that's
Yeah,
great. That's great. I too am making a little shift to try and build some more clientele in my life coaching practice. I hope to bring in a couple more clients here in the by the next couple of months. Just putting it out there. It's not always easy to find the right clients that connect with you, but yeah, putting it out there, talking to people, the social media,
yeah.
getting all that really rolling, and just kind of open it up.
That's what you got to do, man. You got to open the door
That's
because
right.
yeah. So how about some out of the box goal setting techniques? Maybe if you live life at your own pace, I guess, or outside the box.
Mm, lots of stuff. I like focusing on tiny habits and consistent actions that compound over time, right? Consistent, committed, imperfect action is a really good one that I learned from some great mentors of my own. But
Explain that. I didn't really. Can
so
you explain that?
consistent, committed, imperfect action.
Right,
So myself, I like, things to be tidy. I want things to all fall in line and create this perfect environment to move forward, but that's not always conducive to achieving my goals.
right.
So being consistently committed to imperfect action means that I'm consistently taking action, regardless how perfect it is in my mind, knowing that it's still working towards my goals and achieving them.
That's tight. That's tight. That's cool.
Yeah,
That's like jumping on the podcast tonight, or when you're sick, or when you're not feeling good, right? Just
right. Yeah. The
doing it,
stars not might not be aligned, but you're committed to creating that action no matter what.
right? And
You know,
that becomes a habit at some point, right?
it's true. And usually I find like, just like a podcast when you're not feeling up for it, like once you start, like the flow starts coming and everything feels better. Well, once everything starts going.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly didn't feel like doing this tonight, bro. Like I feel like crap today, but I feel a little better now
Yeah,
that I'm talking to you, you know.
I feel it. Me too. It's been a busy day, lots of school going on and yeah, was up late last night doing school. I'm always up early in the morning, getting ready for the day. The imperfect is I didn't sleep as good as I could have. but I still got up early in the morning, which I try and stay consistent of a bedtime at 8 o'clock and up at 4 to 4:30 in the morning. You
Micro
know,
goal.
yeah, exactly. And staying consistent to that because that's
Consistency leads to
that's conducive
habit.
of me achieving my goals for the day,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. And then your goals that are achieved for the day turn into weeks, and then weeks turn into months, and you know,
And then I
then
passed
just
my
you're in a
course,
groove.
which is those medium goals. I guess those are, I don't know, would they be short term or medium term goals? Finishing a semester of classes. Medium. We'll call them medium. Because short term, I don't know. Like, I like short term in like your weekly goals, right? Like, you complete your homework for the week. That's a great short term goal for a day or a week. Even a month, I think a month is like still considered a short term, right? Semester's like 4 months, 18 weeks. So, yeah, I like that.
I think goals for me, I have a hard time setting long term goals. Yeah, it's hard to set the long term goals, because it's harder to see those sometimes. We're kind of programmed for immediate results. So, you got any tips for like the long term goals for me?
Yeah, what's really great for long-term goals is kind of like you were saying earlier, there's like this chunking where
Or
you can break up your long-term goals into smaller, easier to obtain goals. That's a really good practice. And then you get to achieve and complete those and celebrate those wins while working towards that bigger goal also. So, for example, classes that build up to complete a degree. And then the degree's the long-term goal, the classes are your short-term goals that all work to building up that degree. And you know you're going to get it, but paying attention to and celebrating those smaller wins to get to that point. There's
I
also reverse engineering,
celebrate
right?
those wins.
Was that?
I mean, go ahead.
Reverse engineering. So like you start with an end result. You start with what goal, the long-term goal you want, and work backwards to identify the steps needed to achieve that. So kind of the same thing as the school, right? So you're starting and envisioning yourself as a graduate of the bachelor degrees of science in botany and mycology, woo, celebrating it, seeing what I'm going to do with it, and I work backwards to identify the steps needed to get there. The school one is just super easy. Say starting a business though. Starting a business is a little bit more challenging, or I guess not as it's not necessarily challenging. It's actually quicker, right? It's less time consuming, but it could be challenging. But seeing yourself running that business and all the things that need to go into it, and then working backwards. So finding distributors for things that you're selling, if that's what your business is, point of sale system, because you see yourself ringing up customers that come into your shop, finding the shop and getting that rented out in the space and then envisioning the space built out. So figuring out if you're bringing in a designer to make that happen or if you're going to paint and bring in furniture to make that happen. Now you've envisioned and created this whole space for your business that you want, and you're able to break down the steps needed to achieve that higher goal, that bigger goal of having the business open and complete and running. And so you can start the build out, the putting it all together process.
I can kind of see how going the regular route, from beginning to end, you might run into obstacles thinking like that, right? So if you start at the end and go back to the beginning, you're kind of those obstacles aren't going to be obstacles because you already have a solution for them.
Right. Yeah. I think overwhelming is a good word for it too. Like looking at it from the beginning with all this stuff on your plate to get to that goal, right?
Right.
Instead of looking at the goal and seeing the steps needed to get there. And it's still on the plate, right? It's just a different perspective.
Perspective.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
So how we look at it, I like that.
Yeah,
What
so
about
that's
you? Do you have some out of the box techniques that you've used or want to employ?
I came across one and it kind of seems a little. I got a son who likes the game, so
Hmm.
there's one here. It's called gamifying your goals. So it's like rewarding yourself with like rewards and levels. I guess this would work better if you're like a gamer, but award yourself for completing tasks and leveling up. You know, that might seem fun if you're younger, I guess, or if you got that kind of mindset where you're a gamer and you like achieving, stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Mm,
I like that level up mindset is not even it's of course relatable to the gaming world, but I think it's relatable to just the adulting world too. In our careers, we want to level up to get promotions. We want to level up to become financially stable. We want to level up to be in the shoes of our purpose of something that we love and are passionate about. That's all leveling up. We want to be in healthy, nurturing relationship with a partner or not, Like so sometimes it's leveling up, getting away from something toxic that you found yourself in. So yeah, I like that. I like that.
the time capsule one seems kind of cool. Create a physical or digital time capsule of your current state and set a date to revisit it or to measure your growth and progress.
Oh, so you're kind of like challenging yourself to level up, right? Do you want to do better in 6 months, 1 year than you are doing today? So you write, yeah, you write whatever you're where you're at currently and the challenge is to kick ass better than that. If you're competitive, with I guess it's good to be healthy competitive, right? Some healthy competition.
And
But
balance out.
yeah, no, that's a good one. Time Castle.
Saw another one was impossible goals. Set goals that seem unattainable and strive for it. Even partial success will likely exceed your initial expectations. So it's like shoot for the stars.
For sure. I think that can be troublesome for some people because they set an impossible goal that's so far out there that it gives an easy excuse for them to step away from it or to step off path, you
Right.
know. So I think that one's kind of like a tread carefully and responsibly if it's something that you feel can benefit from it.
So
Definitely. Strong-minded, strong-willed,
strong-willed.
ultra competitive. No.
Well, I mean, that's what goals are. You're competing with yourself to set goals. To achieve those goals. So it's a competition, and then you have competition just in the world. How it is. There's always competition at your job. There's competition in your family. There's competition. On the freeway. So competition's just part of life. You know,
Yeah.
I think you can be in competition with yourself to create better goals for yourself and better living. Then yeah, I think you'll be well off.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a good one too is to embrace the like anti goals. So like identifying things that you don't want and create goals to avoid those outcomes. Like for example, I read that book, The 4 Hour Work Week, right? And in that book, a lot of it was, or there was a good section about, you know, regaining some of your time by not attending meetings that aren't conducive to you being there. Like you don't need to be there or whatever. So being diligent on discussing, if team meetings at work or whatever is a thing, like discussing with the team, like, do I need to be here? Do I need to attend this meeting? If not, I got better things to do so that you get your work done and regain some of your time. I like that. Another one, like I like the, simulating success. So envisioning yourself achieving the goals to a point to build confidence and clarity of the specific goals that you're trying to achieve and then work through that, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
it's like practice, right?
yeah,
Yeah. I heard this thing like in basketball, and some players were saying that in practice you practice harder than you play games, you know? So when you do go play the game, then all that practice is just when you're in the game, it's just natural, you know? So
yeah.
I think doing things and practicing things and is conducive to success, you know? Can't walk in anything with just no clue what you're doing.
How do you celebrate goals that you've achieved once you've achieved them?
Hmm. Well, I've had a bad way of celebrating goals in my life. I usually celebrate goals with unhealthy habits. So I'm actually working on changing that the last few years. Seeing my kids is a lot of my goals, you know, and this is the way I celebrate a lot of my goals, you know. I guess getting out and away from people is a celebration for me sometimes because I work around a lot of people and I have a lot of people in my life. So I kind of reward myself with time away, if that makes sense.
That does make sense. I feel like a common misconception with celebrating things or celebrating goals is that you have to go and spend money or, you know, do this crazy like reward or whatever. And I
Or
think,
be people,
what's that?
or like celebrate. As soon as you say celebrate, it's like you have to have a bunch of people around you and it has to be this big, you know,
Wilding
yay.
out or
Right,
whatever.
right.
Yeah. I think that actually is can be damaging for future goals because you are setting yourself up to go for this big dopamine dump, So I think responsibly celebrating goals is a smart thing to do. And it's not that spending money on yourself is a bad thing, but just being responsible and
Conscious.
aware,
Hmm.
yeah, of what you're doing. I like celebrating goals by like going for a hike and getting out and away from a lot, like just kind of freeing my mind from all the focus of, working towards those goals. It is
Right.
a heavy load. It's a lot of energy that I put into getting things done, and it's nice to take a break from it all and just walk around in nature, go camping for a bit. I host retreats, and those retreats that I put on actually are nice for me too to get a little bit of release from all the stuff that's going on. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I think I need to work on my short-term goals more, you know, or not goals, but you know, like my small celebrations, my small when I achieve something, you know, because I don't always give myself that, you know, I'm always I'm always kind of putting out for everybody else. So it's been a dangerous thing for me is this celebrating goals and stuff, you know, because an addict's mind doesn't celebrate like a regular person's mind, you know. So
yeah.
we have other thought processes and they don't always go the right, you know, way in your mind, you know. So definitely working on celebrating things differently, you know, and
I mean, a lot of it is like I mean, when I would use to celebrate something, right? Or like, I mean, it was like the end of the day.
right,
Is the end of the day. Now I get to do something, smoke pot, whatever,
All right.
you know,
Eat.
or yeah, eat, smoke a
Eating was a big
cigarette,
thing.
smoke
Smoking cigarette.
cigarettes. That was another one.
Yeah.
But it was celebrating for the wrong reason, right? And you're not really celebrating with that. You're feeding that dopamine, that need for the dopamine dump and the satisfaction. For me, it
Right.
was a lot of the movements of smoking, not even the smoking itself. And like, of course, like, oh man, I celebrate with a cigarette, right? We celebrate after sex with a cigarette.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like, what am I trying to say here? I think we're celebrating for different reasons. Is like it's not to get the fix or the dopamine rush, right? And it's I mean, I guess that's what the difference is between addiction and a healthy habit, because it should be a healthy habit to celebrate completing goals and winning and up leveling up, right? You're
Right.
leveling up. And feeding the addiction isn't I don't know that there was one time where I fed an addiction where it made me a better person, other than experiencing and having gone through that experience so that I can share with people now,
Right.
right?
I think we're tuned in from a young age to celebrate things, right? With our birthdays, we're leveling up to another age. We got to invite everybody over, have cake and ice cream and presents. So I think celebrating, it's like Christmas almost. It's just it's gotten to the point where it almost seems like it has to be something outrageous.
Right.
So
Definitely. And with social media and entertainment
you got
and
to
oh
outdo
man,
everybody. I got to have a bigger celebration than you. I got to have more bottles popping than you. And
right.
yeah,
What was that big MTV show where it was all like celebration parties or whatever? Oh, I forget.
Jersey Shore.
Oh man, that was ridiculous. But no, but yeah, we're definitely ingrained or taught to celebrate by being extravagant and extra
Indulgent.
unnecessarily,
Indulgent.
which is damaging to a lot of
It
people,
is
you know,
because it sets it in your head that this is the way it's supposed to be. Like
right? A false,
a
oh, I can't think of the word I'm trying to think of.
false sense of reality.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah,
Yeah, but
right.
we even do it with animals, right? We give them treats and stuff when they you know bark or jump or do something. So our whole society is a goal-driven society. You know,
It's true. It's true. So yeah, healthy celebrations, planting, right? Planting something, a tree or a flower or a garden is a living representation of your growth and sobriety.
and it's something that you could celebrate for a long time, right?
It's true and connect with.
Connect
And
with
if it
it.
dies, it's okay. It doesn't mean it's the end of the world and you gotta relapse or like your goals are all gone to trash or anything. It's just
All
you gotta take better care of your plants.
right.
Meditation, just like walking, like what I like to do is walk is for reflecting on where I'm at, enjoying the silence, giving gratitude for my ability to complete these tasks and my ability to and excitement to work on the next one, right? For the growth and setting intentions, meditation to help set intentions for, moving forward.
Yes, sir. Yeah, a lot of my celebrating. I play basketball a lot, so it's kind of how I've been kind of giving myself rewards. I find some place to go or some time to go play, and that kind of does it for me. And it's just like you're walking. I'm thinking while I'm playing. I'm going through over things. I'm going through my day. I'm going through my night, and just it's I think being active is a real good way of meditating just in general and getting to think about things that because you're in your own zone when you're exercising or doing something. You're in your own head. You don't have those outside factors coming in. You don't probably don't have your phone on you, hopefully, if you're playing basketball or something, but definitely being getting out and being active is very good for keeping setting goals and realizing goals.
Yeah. Do you play when with basketball? Do you play with yourself or do you play with other people?
I've been playing with Oliver a lot lately. We've been playing a lot of football and basketball, but most of the time by myself. Every now and again, I get in a game with the young guys, but kind of hurting after that. So I like throwing on my earphones and just kind of getting into my own little space and feel 100 times better after. It's almost like I went to therapy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Another way I like to celebrate is investing in self-care, right? Self-care. So we take better care of ourselves, then we're happier. We feel good about the goals that we're completing, and we feel good about accomplishing these goals that we've set in front of us. Something that supports the well-being,
Yeah,
like the hikes, meditation. I also like going to the gym, getting a good workout on. I like eating healthy and being conscious about those things makes me feel good. Shoot, like eating something healthier as opposed to going out and getting French fries is a big win. That's a small time goal win a lot.
it's crazy how our minds change as we get older. Uh, and now you're celebrating wins with things that are healthy and good for you that make you feel good, not like alcohol and drugs and cigarettes and whatever your vice is.
It's true. It's true.
Lovely, lovely thing.
Yes, sir. I love goals, man. I think goals are definitely necessary. It's not always easy to see them. It's not always easy to set them. It's not always easy to achieve them. But I think it says a lot about yourself when you are able to get it together enough to recognize and set some good quality goals and pull yourself together enough to accomplish those goals. It says a lot about you and your character, your strength, your confidence, your willingness to be better and grow.
It feels good. It feels good to accomplish good things and and level up. It always feels good to level up, right?
Level up. No, level up. I don't know. Whatever. For sure.
Uh,
So what say you? You got anything else to bring to this spicy topic? Is it challenging for our viewers? Here's a question for the viewers. Let us know in the comments. Is it challenging for you to set goals? What are some ways that you have found to make setting goals easy and make accomplishing them goals attainable? How do you celebrate your goals? Let us know.
yeah. What's
Comments
some
below.
milestones that you might have achieved lately? You can share those with us too. We always like to hear about people's successes.
Facts on facts. Off the charties. Yes, sir. So in conclusion, what you got to say
In,
in the
in,
conclusion?
in conclusion, I think goals are a healthy habit to develop. I think it's just like an outline to life. We're all on a path and a journey. If you don't know where that destination is and you don't have a route to get there or a way to make that journey, then you're not going to make it. You're gonna be stuck.
That's true. And in setting goals, I think it's always good to mention that if you're struggling, reach out to your support network, reach out to a friend, look into a life coach or a mentor can help you to see, externalize, notate, and achieve the goals that you want to achieve to be a better you.
Yeah, yeah. It's that other perspective.
Goals are out there to help you be the best you possible and the steps it takes to make that happen.
Sir,
And on that note, we thank you for joining us today in this discussion of setting goals and celebrating goals. We hope that you found this helpful. And yeah, we look forward to spending a little more time with you on the next one. Until then, we send you with peace, love, and all the light.